Hollywood, California, the glamorous entertainment capital of the world, we invite you to 1 hour of fast championship action, viewing one of the nation's top sports events. Your thrill-packed program of championship wrestling, featuring Mr. Wrestling himself, Jules Strongbow, ex-heavyweight wrestling champion of the world, who's waiting with your ringside tickets to see tonight's event at the world-famous Hollywood Legion Stadium, scene of the greatest sports events held in Hollywood, California. And it's here at the famous Hollywood Legion Stadium, just off Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, California, that many of your top sports events originate on the television networks of America. And here is Mr. Wrestling himself, Jules Strongbow, with your ringside tickets to see tonight's top event of championship wrestling. So let's go take our seats beside Hollywood's most famous starlets and movie stars, as well as the nation's top sports figures who come here each week to see thrilling championship wrestling from the Hollywood Legion Stadium here in Hollywood, California.
Steady now. Don't move. There we are. And in 60 seconds, I'll show you the picture. But this camera pictures only what it sees. So if you're overweight, that's how you'd look in the picture. And that's how you look in the eyes of your family and friends. It's impossible to hide unsightly fat. But it isn't impossible to get rid of fat. Not if you reduce the proven, accepted, and guaranteed way. Yes, Taphon guarantees you can lose up to 1 pound a day, safely, sanely, enjoyably. Safely because Taphon contains no harmful or habit-forming drugs. Sanely because Taphon is an aid to appetite appeasement, which means that tiny Taphon tablets help you do without the extra food that adds extra weight. And you'll lose your overweight enjoyably because with Taphon there are no muscle-building exercises, no calorie-counting diets or starvation. You continue to eat all the foods you enjoy, healthy, well-balanced meals. So, if you're overweight, and if you want to feel better and look better, get genuine Taphon tablets, featured at drug counters everywhere. Oh, about that picture I promised you. Oh, why not look in a full-length mirror? The effect will be the same, and if you're too fat, reduce the safe, guaranteed Taphon way.
Now, once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from the famous Hollywood Legion Stadium in Hollywood, California. Tonight, we bring you an exciting tag team match for this main event. Believe me, we got a good one racked up here and ready to go. Pitting together a couple of rivals who had a real set to when they got together just recently here, Wild Red Berry against the Great Bolo. And the Great Bolo is going to have his manager, Louie Miller, as his partner in tag team competition. Wild Red has his favorite partner tonight for tag team get-togethers, Bud Curtis, the strong man from Indianapolis. I think we're about set for action, and filling in for our good friend Jules Strongbow, who's out of the city at the moment, is another good friend of ours, Leonard Jacobson, who's going to serve as our ring announcer. All right, Jake, ready to hear from you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to our weekly wrestling bouts here at the Hollywood American Legion Stadium. And the tag team match tonight, the main event, 2 falls out of 3, 1 hour. Your officials officiating tonight, timekeeper Cliff Goss. It takes 2 referees for this tag team tonight, Mike Ruby and Hank Matheny. Mike Ruby and Hank Matheny. In the black corner, to my left, from Pittsburgh, Kansas, weighing 199 pounds, Wild Red Berry. His partner, from East Indianapolis, weighing 225 pounds, Bud Curtis. Their opponents in the white corner to my right, weighing 185 pounds, the manager of the Great Bolo, from Los Angeles, California, Louie Miller. And his partner, from parts unknown, weighing 235 pounds, the Great Bolo.
Introductions completed now, and our 2 referees take over with final and checking and instructions here for the 4 wrestlers. While they're doing that, let me explain to you again the California regulations for tag team competition, which require that only one member of each team can be in the ring at any one time. And the partner must remain in the team's corner. To tag and replace his partner in the ring, he must be standing, both feet on the canvas, one hand on the top turnbuckle, and reach over the top rope and then touch the hand of his partner in the ring. He then can come in the ring and relieve him. The argument here is about how can you kick and how can you stomp and so forth. A flat stomp is all right. That's the explanation of the referees. Here we go now. We're about set to start. It looks like Wild Red Berry may be the beginner, though it's a little difficult to tell. That's right. Wild Red is going to begin, and Louie Miller is going to start for the team of the Great Bolo and Louie Miller. And we're right off to the races here at the beginning of things tonight. Arm tuck takedown by Louie Miller to get things underway. Referees Mike Ruby in the foreground. In the background, Hank Matheny, who's a former wrestler. Both are former wrestlers. Hank Matheny was known as Boxcar Hank in his wrestling days. He's now a lieutenant on the Santa Monica Police Force out here. Top headlock by Louie Miller, who tries to explain to Mike Ruby there's no strangle involved there. And Berry has come up with a hammerlock for his first hold of the evening. Louie Miller is trying to get over to tag Great Bolo, and Bolo got up standing on the bottom rope, which is not permitted, of course. He's trying to reach, touch the hand of Louie Miller, who wants out of a hammerlock. It's now a wrist lock, and look out, Bolo almost overboard here as Bud Curtis began to bounce the ropes a little bit. Whoa! Red fired and missed with a fist. The referees are a little unhappy with Red about that, as is Louie Miller. Red was unhappy to begin with after taking a forearm smash, and now he's got a full Nelson on Louie Miller. Louie is a wrestler, hasn't wrestled too much actively lately, but he's kept in shape. And when the warfare got going with his new discovery, the Great Bolo, and everybody he thought was picking on Bolo, he got more and more into it, got into the ring unofficially a couple of times, so they decided he better do some official wrestling if that's what he wanted. Red winds up with an elbow. The Great Bolo is a little difficult to restrain here. Red is scissoring the arm, and Louie Miller started for the ropes. Now he's decided he'll try to pin Red instead of getting out of the hold. Oh, it's a Hackenschmidt, a standing toe hold. Louie Miller. Look out, Red kicks his way out of it. And Louie Miller has had him, he's going to tag and let the Great Bolo come in. I thought for a minute he was too busy to even do anything about a tag. Well, Red's got his hands full now. Here's that big 235-pound mystery man who starts to work on Red. Somersaults him with a wrist lock and takes a head scissors. Smart thing for Red to do would be to tag Bud Curtis, who's only 10 pounds lighter than the Great Bolo. Try to get in there himself. Well, Louie Miller wanted to slip into the ring. I can't quite see why, because the Great Bolo has all the advantage of the situation here at the moment as Red tries to work his way and is pulling up out of a head scissors and trying to hold the Great Bolo, which is about like trying to hold a horse. It can't be done. Oh, wait a minute. They got Bolo now where there's a tag, and Bud Curtis comes in replacing Red, and let's see what the big men are going to do here. Bud Curtis, a nice arm tug takedown, but they're in the ropes. slams Curtis once in the midsection. Wow, these are forearm smashes. They're okay, but they're really softening up Bud Curtis a little bit. Now Bud Curtis decides he'll go to work. Bud Curtis being backed over toward where Louie Miller is. Let's see what Miller has a plan to do here. He's holding on to Curtis' trunks, that's all. 5 minutes gone in our 1 hour time limit. Those little tug tackles hurt in there. Wristlock armbar. Bolo has the hold. Louie Miller shouts instructions from the corner. Wild Red Berry was trying to think up some plan to come in the ring and try to help Curtis. He didn't have to. Look at that. That was a beautiful reversal. To a key lock, top wrist lock by Bud Curtis. Bolo tries to work in the face. Bud Curtis shouted, watch the hair, but there's been no hair pulling. Little smashes break the hold. Bolo chops away now. All we know about the Great Bolo is supposedly he came from the Orient somewhere. Louie Miller's holding trunks here once again, trying to give Bolo a better opportunity to work, and in the meantime, Bolo has tagged, and Louie Miller comes in to go to work on Bud Curtis, but he won't be allowed to keep the hold. Wait a minute, Bolo's got a foot on the throat of Bud Curtis. And Louie Miller is in there with some roughhouse stuff at the same time. Well, Bud Curtis says, I'm a little confused by it all. Let Wild Red come in. Red had a pitch wind up there to throw, but changed his mind. Nice little fake by Red for a step over toe hold. Miller's in trouble, and the Great Bolo slips in and right back out of the ring again. Red's trying to wind up Louie Miller in his famous Gilligan twist. But he's got trouble here because Miller has turned on him, and all he's coming up is a cross-leg toe hold. In the meantime, Louie Miller has a weak sort of a toe hold on Red. Louie Miller's toe hold bothers Red a little bit. He's got just a simple toe hold now, reversed here. Gets away from Louie Miller. Now begins to go to work. Turns Louie Miller, watch the shoulders now. Boxcar Hank Matheny down on the canvas, checking on Miller's shoulders. Red bears down with the toe hold, and Louie Miller sneaks up for a side headlock. Red comes up with his famous face stomp, works there. The Great Bolo is furious about this. There, snapped. Louie Miller takes over once again. Head gets dumped there on the break. Top headlock. Louie Miller tags to let Bolo come in. And Bolo comes in to go to work on the Kansas Sunflower, who's going to get a little trouble now. Look out. Red made a creditable showing last time he faced the Great Bolo, but since they're on the ropes, of course, they have to stop the action here at the moment, and Red's showing is not of the best. A confused Wild Red Berry trying to figure just where do you go here. Bolo puts him in this neutral corner and slams away with forked judo cuts to the throat.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Break being ordered again. Well, Red moves right out there. Grabs the mask and somersaults Bolo. Red has threatened before to take that mask off. And a claim of foul by the Great Bolo. Ten minutes gone in our 1 hour time limit. Side headlock by Wild Red Berry. The ropes. Red dumps Bolo with a tackle. Look out, everybody, hustle and hurry. Get the referees out of there. Somebody's going to get hurt. Just what Bolo's complaining about, I don't quite get. Wow. Red into the ropes and Bolo on top of him, and they'll have to break. Bolo wants Louie Miller to come in. Well, Louie Miller tried to tag. Oh, Bolo gave him a headbutt, and now we've had trouble with Bolo before. He possibly has something concealed in the mask. At least he gave that impression in a previous match with Wild Red Berry. Look out, Red is lined up there for the knee treatment to the side of the head, and he gets it. That sparse thatch on the top of the Wild One's head doesn't give him much protection against a blow like a... Wait a minute. Got a few of his own troubles here. Up the ladder, and look at him whip that Bolo. Watch him handle that big man and drive him right into Bud Curtis' knee. And Bud works on him some more. Takes a tag from Berry and comes in to go to work. Mare snap. Curtis, look at him snap these mares. This man weighs 235 pounds as he's flipping around here. And I think Bud's going to let Red come in and possibly have the honors of putting the Great Bolo away. Bolo is in bad shape. They've been working him over for one. No, but he flail kicks out at two. Not quite pinned yet. Red up those ropes again. Whips Bolo around and comes topside. Let's see what he's going to try. His famous Gilligan twist. This is it. Bolo shaken up. Is rocking and rolling to keep those shoulders up off the canvas. Trying to keep from being pinned. And Wild Red cannot quite get the pin going here. Red, I know, is he going to tag? He is, just as he falls out of his Gilligan twist to let Bud Curtis come in and see what he can do. So Curtis is a wild man now. They've got Bolo in a bad way, and they're really going to try to soften him up because he's the big opposition. There's that face stomp. Look at that. 1 and 2 and 3, and there it is, the first ball. Wild Red Berry and Bud Curtis take it as Bud Curtis pins the Great Bolo of the team of the Great Bolo and Louie Miller. Ooh, Bolo's in a bad way. Let's get the official time from Leonard Jacobson, our ring announcer tonight.
The first fall in 12 minutes and 55 seconds, won by the tag team of Berry and Curtis.
This is Jimmy Fiddler in Hollywood. The word has gone out in all Hollywood studios that regardless of a star's ability before the cameras, he or she must conform to rigid requirements as to appearance. That is why so many are telling one another about Taphon. Isn't that right, Steve Dunn?
That's right, Jimmy Fiddler. Just as Taphon is the favorite reducing aid in Hollywood, it's the favorite reducing aid throughout America. And that's why I say if you're too fat, if overweight is your problem, reduce the safe, accepted Taphon way. You see, Taphon is an aid to appetite appeasement. And when you reduce the pleasant Taphon way, you go right on eating the foods you enjoy, the normal, well-balanced meals, because Taphon tablets appease your appetite. That's T-A-F-O-N, the favorite reducing aid of the movie colony. Remember the name, Taphon. the accepted, guaranteed way to reduce. Genuine Taphon is featured and recommended at all drug counters throughout America.
That's the first ball in our competition here. Now we miss our good friend Jules Strombo tonight. He's out of the city for a week, but he'll be back with us again. I know you'll enjoy his comments as always. Meantime, we'll try to fill in as well as we can. And I just checked up in the ring here because it looked like the Great Bolo might be going to get a little bit out of order, but apparently not. Everything's going to be calm and quiet until we're ready to go for the second fall. Now we notice once again the Great Bolo using the same tactics that he tried a week ago against Wild Red Berry. Last time they met, Bolo was using a headbutt on Berry, and he really clobbered him with it. The suspicion grew, particularly on the part of some maneuvers by Bolo, that he might have some sort of a heavy object that he concealed underneath the mask, between the mask and his forehead, and then was able to give a resounding whack to the noggin of the Kansas Sunflower, the man from Pittsburgh, Kansas. However, nothing was ever found. Bolo went through the motions, at least, of trying to conceal something and trying to hide it, but the referees could find nothing, and there was some suspicion that maybe it was just a move on the part of the Great Bolo, which would... As a matter of fact, I can hear somebody shouting behind us here now that Bolo is trying to conceal something. But anyway, the suspicion was that perhaps it was all psychological warfare on the part of the Great Bolo. This is an interesting thing to see here tonight. And I think at all the times that we've watched the Great Bolo wrestle here at the Hollywood Legion Stadium, I never before saw him quite so softened up so quickly as he was tonight. It took only about 2 or 3 minutes of hard work on the part of Wild Red Berry and Bud Curtis to put him in pretty bad shape. He was virtually pinned by Berry with the Gilligan twist, but of course the Bolo is a tremendously big and strong man, and Berry's hold was not quite right, and he lost it. But Bud Curtis, of course, came in immediately afterward, and as you know, got the 3 count with Bolo's shoulders in the canvas for the deciding fall. So that's the way it goes up to now. But with a man like the Great Bolo in here, who is certainly one of the strongest and most able wrestlers that we've seen at the Hollywood Legion Stadium in quite some time, you can be sure that we're a long way from coming to a deciding fall. Obviously, of course, if Wild Red Berry and Bud Curtis should get the next fall, they'd have the match tucked away right then and there. But if it doesn't work out that way, and Bolo and Louie Miller get the second fall, then, of course, we go for the third and deciding fall later on. We have, of course, plenty of time left. The rest period of 3 minutes, incidentally, also counts on the time, so we'll have 46 minutes left when we come up to the start. Let me check my figures. That's right, 46 minutes left when we come up to the start of the second fall. We should hear the warning whistle. Matter of fact, there it is right now, and that means we're ready for action, and we'll start now into the ring. Let's check it now and see who's going to start as the bell rings. It's going to be Wild Red Berry against Louie Miller. A little tug of the arm, and Berry has the first takedown of the second fall. Not quite the way to take a hold, says Mike Ruby. Breaks the hold for Louie Miller, and Red's on the ropes and gets away, and right back into it again. Takes his own top headlock, goes behind, and he's a busy boy here for a takedown. He started to take a full Nelson, changed his mind about it, and let it get away from him. Berry is trying for a quick second pin, which of course would be the match, but Louie Miller is wrapping his feet around the ropes a little bit, then changing his mind. I think he'd rather tag. Moves under the ropes instead when he sees the Great Bolo's out of position. Trips Red on the break. Louie Miller wants to get a knee lined up on the part of the Great Bolo. Instead, oh, look out! Louie Miller ran head-on, hit Bolo in the chest, and the whole team is shaken up here. Look out, we might have that deciding fall right now, but Louie Miller is smart enough yet to get under the ropes and get out of trouble. Oh, the Bolo will not tag. The Great Bolo will not take the tag and replace Louie Miller in there. Louie Miller's complaining. He said, I told you to put a knee there, and Miller gets kicked to the ropes. And Miller, of course, is still the man that's supposed to be in there wrestling. They won't allow a tag, of course, with Miller outside the ropes. They're insisting that Louie Miller has to be inside the ring, which he does under the rules. Now he tags, and here we go. Lock. Great Bolo with a hold of Wild Red Berry. Red's turning, but not out of it. He's in a bit of trouble here. Turns again, and he can't get away. He goes first from a hammerlock to a top wrist lock, and vice versa. Who hit me? Bolo thinks it was Louie Miller. It was Red Berry who slammed, of course, a rabbit punch in there. And Louie Miller, of course, is making a big thing that Red used his fist, and the Bolo is not sure. He thinks perhaps that Louie Miller did, and you can see some of the ringsiders excitedly trying to convince Bolo that Louie Miller threw the punch. Wait, we've got our own little match going here. Louie Miller trying to argue with a mighty big man there. So Red moves in and spoil things. Louie had a punch lined up for Red, didn't throw it. Now Red landed another punch on the break there. Nonchalantly walks away. And the Great Bolo is asking the fans once again, who done it? Bolo with the side headlock and takes down. Moving up top side a little bit. Bolo starts to work on Red now. Bolo to the ropes. Catches Red with a hard tackle. Look out! Well, what do you know? Wild Red's fist was enough to derail the Great Bolo. Bolo goes behind, take a full Nelson. And Bolo is slowly leading Red to the slaughter here. Taking him over towards Louie Miller. There's a plan afoot here. Let's see how it works out. Red knows something is in store for him that he won't like. Mike Ruby, the referee, steps between to try to spoil things. Now there was a big miscue there, and it was really Louie Miller who hit the Great Bolo. Red ducked away from it beautifully. And the Great Bolo caught it on the side of the ear, and Louie Miller is trying to make peace in a hurry. He's about to lose his prize pupil here. An unhappy Bolo finally is going to let Miller come in. Louie Miller wants Red Berry to stay away. He wants to see if he can't make friends with the Great Bolo, but he decides he better get in there and wrestle. Wrist lock into a giant armbar. Ooh, Red's got a good one here. Louie Miller trying to push Red. While Red keeps the giant armbar working. Wants to get Red over toward the Great Bolo. Well, what do you know? Miller and the Great Bolo tangle again. Oh! Stopped him in midair with a foot right in the tummy. Here's a tag. Red's holding Louie Miller, and he's letting Bud Curtis come in and replace him. Now Bud goes to work with the top headlock. And there's some complaint from the Great Bolo that Bud Curtis has a stranglehold on Louie Miller. 20 minutes gone on our hour time limit. Reverse chinlock by Bud Curtis got away from him now. Now he takes a neck breaker. Bolo is anxious to get in and replace Louie Miller, and Bud Curtis is anxious to keep Louie Miller from being replaced. A little trip, however, by Louie Miller, and got him out of trouble for the moment. Bud Curtis wants to go right on wrestling. Look out, the Great Bolo was going right over and joining in the fun. Miller's got a trick here tonight. He's been working successfully on both Bud Curtis and Red Berry of tripping him up on the break. And a driving punch to the side of the head. Leaves Bud Curtis a little unhappy with the whole situation, and here he comes. So what do you know? Louie Miller says, if you're that mad, I'll let the Great Bolo come in and wrestle. Nice go behind. Bud Curtis with the hammerlock. Look out, an elbow smash. You could see it coming, but Bud Curtis apparently didn't plan on it. So a little conference goes on between he and Wild Red Berry. Back again, side headlock. Bolo has it. Bolo to the ropes. And everybody stops. Off balance in the ropes. Knee in the midsection. Bolo with two of them. Here come those pork judo cuts to the throat. Bolo still goes on, and the referees have their hands full holding the big man. Wait a minute. Curtis ran into a forearm smash from Louie Miller. Mike Ruby is giving a big lecture to Miller. Holding off Bolo here. Curtis in trouble now. Forearm smashes, and how? He really rocked the big man from parts unknown. And that field didn't help a bit either. Bud Curtis got there too late. There's been a tag now, and Louie Miller is the official wrestler, but he isn't in the ring and almost fell off the ring apron.
Come on, Bud, get up quick. Come on,
Bud Curtis scoots away, but here comes Louie Miller. Caught with a double leg snatch. And a leg lock now by Bud Curtis. "25 minutes gone. 25 minutes gone in our 1 hour time limit. One fall so far in the match to Wild Red Berry and Bud Curtis. This is a very punishing leg lock here. But Louie Miller's out of it and taking no chances. Louie does not want to tag. He decides he'll stay in there. Off balance again. Well, Louie Miller went right through the ropes. Something has Louie Miller unhappy. Top wrist lock. And nice little bit of work by Louie Miller. Had a headlock, lets go of it. Going to try to pin now. Of course, the Great Bolo and Louie Miller have to get this fall. Well, the match is all over, and it goes to Berry and Curtis if they should take the second fall, which gives them 2 straight falls. Notice how Bud Curtis bridges up here off those shoulders. Curtis pointing to his throat, but you can clearly see it is not a chokehold. Here's a compound hammerlock by Louie Miller, and an open-handed blow to the midsection. Bud Curtis complaining something's being done to his fingers. They cannot separate the fingers. That slam by Louie Miller to keep Bud Curtis down on the canvas. Now let's see if Bud Curtis can do anything with this headlock he has here. Yes, he's beginning to do a little something with it. He certainly is. He comes up with a neck breaker on Louie Miller. Louie Miller heading for the ropes, is in them and, of course, automatically out of the hole. Great Bolo decides he should do some wrestling, and Louie Miller tagged and then wanted to stay right back in there. Well, what did Bolo have in mind here? Something about Wild Red Berry he doesn't like. It's the Great Bolo, the masked wonder, the unknown wrestler from the unknown. And Bud Curtis in the ring, and Curtis with a tackle. Oh, runs into a knee that really floored him. Curtis is hurt. The fork judo cuts. Great Bolo is the one doing the softening up this time. And Red got a tag, all right, from Bud Curtis, so he can come in now. Let's see if he can handle the Great Bolo here. Next side headlock. Wants to go up those ropes. Bud Curtis is still out on the canvas. Just crawled through the ropes just now. 30 minutes. We're halfway through our time limit here for this great main event from the Hollywood Legion Stadium tonight. Here's the whip into the turnbuckle. Oh, wham. I guess you could hear that. Red trying to finish it off at two straight falls. Whoa, ran into a fork judo cut that really shook him up. Practically unlaced his shoes for him. And again. And now watch it. Well, what do you know? The little man got rid of the big man, but he can't get over there to tag Bud Curtis. Gonna try again. He's a little groggy trying to make it to Bud Curtis. But the Great Bolo keeps right after him. And now rolls him up on those shoulders. One. Just a 2 count, and then Red's away again. Bolo moves in on him, drops him. And a rotary. On top is Bolo now for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. There it is. Second fall. It's a fall apiece in the main event here tonight. A not very popular win. Usually Red is the unpopular one. But he and Bud Curtis seem to have more friends in the stands than the team of the Great Bolo and his manager, Louie Miller. Leonard Jacobson, our ring announcer tonight. All set, I think, to give us the official time in the fall.
The second fall in 18 minutes and 15 seconds goes to the Great Bolo and his manager, Louie Miller. That's a fall apiece.
Great Bolo comes out to acknowledge the plaudits of the crowd here. Louie Miller was a little bit tired, but he made it out there for a round of applause if he could have found any. The plaudits of the crowd were strangely lacking, by the way. The second fall. Once again, I want to point out our good friend Jules Strombo is unable to be with us here this evening, and we'll miss him because I know you enjoy his between fall comments just as much as we like to hear from him when we have an opportunity here. But in that second fall, it was pretty even all the way. Until Red ran into a couple of punches. He came rebounding off the ropes and out of holes and so forth. Got a rotary that shook him up pretty well. And then he got away once from being pinned, but was a victim, an easy victim again. He just couldn't begin to move. And that 235 pounds of the Great Bolo on top of his chest and shoulders, there wasn't much he could do except just lie there and listen to the referees tolling 1, 2, 3, and realizing the second fall had gotten away from him. One thing... Of course, I guess a lot of you know this feud that goes on between Wild Red Berry and me. I tried to end it here the last time he met the Great Bolo by saying a few kind things to him, but he just won't take it that way. He likes to just keep on being mad at the world, and especially me. But I have to say, I give him his due here. He's the boy that certainly deserves some credit for staying in with bigger men, bigger by 35 pounds or so. Now we have 25 minutes remaining in our time limit for this main event here tonight, which means there's a very good opportunity for a third and deciding fall, particularly in tag team competition where things move like they do, and the breaks coming up every once in a while on a change of men or something such as that. It's very apt to be a third and deciding fall tonight, but just right now I wouldn't want to even make a guess as to who the winning team might be. Our tag team competition, of course, proves very popular, we know, with all of you fans out there who watch these matches each week from this famous Legion Stadium in Hollywood. And we're happy to bring you matches such as this. We'd like to hear from you and have you let us know what you enjoy and what wrestlers you'd like to see. There's a lady back up the aisle here, has a few words to say to some of the wrestlers, but at the moment as I glance in the ring, I see they're pretty well ignoring her. They're not going to take her very seriously or whatever she has to say, though she did say she was bigger than the Great Bolo, which would make her a fairly large lady. She's not that big. I just took a look. I knew you'd want to know about it. But there's the warning whistle. And let's see who's going to start now. Here we go. Third and deciding fall in this main event tonight. The bell sounds. It's going to be Bud Curtis for the team of Bud Curtis and Wild Red Berry, and it's Louie Miller for the team of Louie Miller and the Great Bolo. Bud Curtis walking into the meat grinder here a little bit. Well, he's got something of his own. There's a heel of the hand blow. It's perfectly okay. Louie Miller wants to argue about it. So does the Great Bolo. Louie Miller hip rolls with his side headlock and takes down. Headlock again. Louie Miller says, how about the shoulders? Boxcar Hank Matheny says the shoulders are way up, which they were. Look out, look out, look out! Bud Curtis run head on into the knee of the Great Bolo. Got a real jolt. You may notice Bud has a little tape on the index finger of his hand, his left hand. Got away there with a little rootin' and scootin'. Side headlock again by Curtis. To the ropes. Ooh, what a tackle. Caught Miller again as he tries to get up. He's after him and taking him down. And look who spoiled things, the Great Bolo, reaching over the ropes. Well, Miller won't be allowed to take a hold he got that way. Curtis, nice forearm smash. Enough for Miller, says Louie. I'll get out of here and let the Great Bolo come in. So the Great Bolo takes side headlock. Louie Miller's got his knee ready, but instead Bolo elected to hip roll. Down went Bud Curtis. Miller standing at one of Bud Curtis' feet, ordered away by the referees. Bolo to the ropes. And again, it's everybody for himself, and Bolo's mad. Going to throw a tackle and gets mad because Curtis won't get up and be a pigeon for him. Bud Curtis shouting threats at the Great Bolo. Slaps him. Bolo comes up the wrist lock. Moving out on the hand, takes the fingers. Bolo with a very, very punishing hold now. Miller slammed one little blow in there. And he wants to do it again, but the Bolo, look out! Sent through the ropes, almost knocked Louie Miller off the ring apron. Louie Miller wants to come in and talk to Bolo, and of course he has not been tagged, so he isn't allowed in the ring. Bud Curtis with a hold on the Great Bolo. Wait a minute, Bolo kicks out of it. Look at Curtis come up to his feet. Starting to take a toehold from the outside here, just trying to spoil things. There's a signal, and it worked. Bud Curtis signaled to Wild Red Berry, and then whipped Bolo over to Berry, who probably caught him in the tummy with a foot, and here comes Berry in on the tag now. The turnbuckle whip. Where's Berry going? He wasn't quite sure, but there he goes. Snaps the hip roll on him off the ropes. We got one. Whoa, up came a knee, and Red is really shaken up. Louie Miller comes in to replace the Great Bolo. Well, Red had something left for Louie Miller. It was a heel of the hand blow. It's again a legal move. Well, has Red had enough? I guess he has. Whoa, Louie Miller was amazed to turn around and find out who he had to meet. Into the ropes again. Wild Red going wild here. And brings in Bud Curtis. We may be getting close to the finish here. Wow. There's that face stomp again, and on top is Bud Curtis for 1 and 2 and 3, and the match is over. What a finish, what a surprise. Things going pretty well for Louie Miller and the Great Bolo until he got into trouble. Now we get the official time from Leonard Jacobson.
In 9 minutes and 55 seconds, the third and deciding fall go to the tag team of Wild Red Berry and Bud Curtis. The fall in the match.
Will be of interest to every one of you. So let me just take our microphone, move on up to ringside here. Well, here comes the Great Bolo. We wait right here at the foot of the steps and catch he and Louie Miller as they come on down. I think this is the first time, Bolo, you've been on the losing end. Am I right?
Yeah.
Huh?
The referee, he never called the match the way it should be.
What do you mean?
All the time, he grabbed my manager by the hair.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He threw me against the ropes.
Come on back over here where we can talk to
It's
the...
not fair to throw against the ropes.
What's the
He
matter?
threw me against the ropes and hit my back against the ropes.
Hurt your back against the
Sure,
ropes?
it's not fair.
Oh,
Now,
Louie,
listen,
after
sure.
what you were doing in there?
Well, yeah, he's not playing to me. I used the hold one time, took your disqualification for me. Referee see him, not see me, huh?
Oh, I don't think so. Well, you lost tonight,
I lost,
remember?
but
First
the
time
referee helped
the
him.
Great Bolo has been losing around here, isn't it?
The referee helped him.
The referee helped him. I can't really take that seriously. Well, let's go up and meet the victors up here in the ring while we have an opportunity. Here is the loquacious Kansas Sunflower, Wild Red Berry. Mr. Berry, do you have a few thousand well-chosen words for our audience tonight?
As I looking at the eyes of yours, which are coming closer together as a warning, I know that there are going to be many reverberations. But let me hasten to assure you that none of the libelous prognostications ever attached to our name have ever come true.
Is that right?
That's just as true.
Now,
as
what
can
does
be.
all this mean? I mean, you leave me a little confused by your...
Well, Bill, as you all know, we are nothing but, we are all tenafolios blossoms of life. Each of our souls radiate a circle of prismatic tentacles showing the divine iridescent essence of the composition of which we are. So if we are content to molder out our existence like fibrous reticulated polypus, clinging to the crustaceous crust of custom, then in what essential degree do we differ from the Acalphia?
Give me that difference.
Well, I would like to beg the pardon
I
of
must have had a bad time of it.
Well,
I just don't follow you at all here.
Well, I can imagine that because the bulk,
I just
the
want to
bulk
ask
of
you-
your brains, which are compressed between your 2 ears, do have an infinitesimal significance.
Careful now, lad. Look.
I would like
Look,
to
I've
beg
been
the
saying
pardon.
nice things about you all evening long.
I would
here.
like to beg the pardon of the other intelligentsia while I momentarily descend to your poor unfortunate's level, because I figure this, that you are a pitiable example of the native incomprehensibility.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Yes.
Now, I understand that, and I
And-
don't like that. I
and
mean,
you
I just
understand
say,
that.
so what are you doing? Stealing towels again? This is the name of a hotel on it here. Is that what you're up to again?
Listen, your little derogatory machinations there are nothing more than evident abstractions of half-tutored mind, half-baked opinions, I might add.
Yeah.
An activation of sounds which I might mistaken for words.
Yeah, I know, but you stole a towel. That's what hurts. Hello,
wanna
Bud.
talk to
How
my
are
very
you?
capable man,
I'd like to
partner?
talk to Bud. You bet I would.
tired.
Watch him. He steals towels. He's got a name of a hotel on that towel. You can't tell me he didn't do anything but just walk off with it in his luggage, probably, huh?
No, I think accidentally got in there. I know Red wouldn't steal anything.
You don't think so?
No.
Maybe borrowed it a long-term loan on a towel. Is that it?
Well, a lot of people think we steal a fall here and there, but
No, I don't
We
think
did 'em
you-
right.
No, I think you did
No,
all right
it might
tonight.
be
I
well.
don't see
It might be well for Bill Wells to
I
cogitate
thought you said he was going to
intensively.
get to talk, but go ahead.
Go ahead, man. You wanted to.
well, you've been doing pretty good, Red.
Well,
I
just
enjoy
wanted-
listening to you.
I just wanted to tell you about this penurious, inane mortal there, with all of his invective ludus vituperations. I might add this, that he might cogitate intensively before embarking upon another campaign of this sort. So after voluminous cogitation, I have come to this positive conclusion that these fellows like Bill Welch, who's so madly wrapped up in themselves, so madly in love with their own image, are bound to pine away under their own admiration. And as our record speak for itself, I can speak with authority that you and our past record speak for itself, and
Yeah,
we'll
what
bear
a
witness
record.
to the fact that we have successfully defended the tag team championship here at the Hollywood Stadium successfully now for 4 times in a row. Is that not right?
That's right.
And we're ready and willing to meet any and all comers,
Yeah.
regardless of color, creed, or marital status. Just bring them in. Because we are as brave as a lion, and strong as a mule, and tough as a pine knot, and as sharp as a razor. And we might add, the students of politician have the gift, gab, and the spray, verbal
Boy,
spray,
he has,
of this TV announcer here.
Oh,
You know,
thank
right?
You know,
You know
Red,
what? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think our success lies in the fact that we subjugate ourselves to one another. In other words,
Yeah.
we don't try to
No.
each one be a star and hog
That's
all
right.
the glory.
Our success lies in this. We have
isn't it trying
we
to
have
be a
2
star
ends.
over here?
You know, every man
he
has,
works with it. He really does.
works
Yes,
with
sir.
you.
Right.
You know,
kidding.
it bears back this one fact that you and I were talking about before we come on here, that each man has 2 ends, a thinking end and a sitting end. And your success depends upon which end you use the hardest.
Yeah.
Heads I win and Bud wins, and tails fellows like you and our opponents lose.
What
Is
do you
that
mean?
clear to you?
Because I have to sit down to announce, you're going to make a big thing out of it. You know, I must be nuts to stand and hold this microphone so you can just
Well, all
take
your
minutes
acrimonious-
of time to insult me.
all your
You realize
acrimonious-
how many stations we're on, and you're using
No, I don't-
valuable
I
time
don't-
with insulting remarks that don't mean anything. They add
You have
nothing
some-
to this
You
television
know, with all
program.
those acrimonious, chimerical, and cursory deprecations of our innate talents,
I
have
didn't-
caused our vociferous and petulant public to demand a just retribution for these calumnious dissertations. So Bud and I are going to recommend that you be superannuated immediately.
Superannuate me?
Yes, you know what that means.
Well, certainly I know what it means, but you have nothing to do about that. you
We'll see if we don't.
Oh, I don't
Bud.
think you will.
Well, what it means is, why don't you just take a vacation?
What do you mean take a
Long,
vacation?
long time ago. He's outlasted his usefulness long
Oh,
ago.
this is the most
He's superannuated.
Ridiculous
He'll
thing that ever
retire now.
happened here in the whole evening. Would you,
Well, before I would try to inculcate or infiltrate your doubtful cranial absorption of our latest literary achievement,
what'd
we
you do,
might
write
add
a book? What's the matter with him? I just asked him a question. Did he write a book? He said something about a literary achievement. I said, do you write a book? He gets mad. Look at him pout.
Bud,
Well, you can't insult him, you know.
Well, I didn't insult him. I asked him if he wrote a book.
Man,
Can't a man
but
write?
Because a man can speak eloquently doesn't mean that he has
He
to
can
write
write.
a book about it.
He can-
Well,
can
Bud,
write.
Webster wrote all the book he needs.
all I can say is this, that anything that you might say, the charges are an imbroglio of helpless absurdity. It is impossible for you and I to refute this language in a state of dignity and temper, because of
just
prejudice and reason,
asked
because
you-
they run into the same direction. We do not
asked
consider
you-
ourselves infallible. This we know, because our friends will impute our mistakes, if any we have made.
Look, you give me 4,000 words, and all I asked, did you write a book? And then you get mad at me.
Well,
What's
the
the
mephitic
matter with
atmosphere which gives genus to these matters will, upon full and impartial hearing, be fully exposed and vindication ensue, and I know that's above your copious comprehension.
Well, I'll tell
It's
you
too
one thing
copious
that I
for limited
comprehend, and that's,
comprehension.
I think you've been wasting the time of a lot of very nice people out there watching this show on television. I'm surprised at you. But it's nice to see you win here tonight. I don't know whether I can say the same to you or not. You won, and it'll be in the record books. We'll let it go at that.
I couldn't have won without Red, and
that's it. That's
and,
fine,
that's good
boy.
enough for me.
We work together.
All right, buddies.
It's
You
a
buddies stick
purification.
together.
Okay, we will.
I want to just tell the folks that we brought them another exciting main event, and I apologize for what this man over here has been doing to your television set. Don't worry about next week or anything else. If you're lucky if you ever get back in the ring again after this demonstration here this evening. But anyway, we'll see you next week, and you can be sure of that, with another exciting match.